What was your high school's scandal? One of the teachers gave porn DVDs to students. 4 students were suspended for 2 weeks for dropping maroon dye. Maroon was our school color, in our rival school's newly built fountain before our football game, nearly destroying the expensive fountain in the process. My friend had a brain aneurysm in our weight room. He was alone and a few of my other friends found him unconscious and covered in vomit. One of our teachers let him in and left him alone. Some people tried to blame him for it happening. My friend's family didn't blame him, and the doctors confirmed that even if there was someone there, he would not have survived. I'm sure he still carries the guilt. Our headmaster was really strange. He liked to wear a normal suit, cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I live somewhere in Europe. His attire didn't make any sense at all where I come from. Actually, does it make sense somewhere else? Whatever, His absolute pride and joy were the public toilets in our school. Every year on open day he would show every visitor, every parent with absolute pride, how clean they were. He often went into the bathrooms and made sure everything was alright. He was not a creep. He always asked if someone was in the bathroom beforehand. One time some very brave soul was crazy enough to write on one of the mirrors with lipstick, nothing scandalous, just something like, "Hello." He went batshit crazy and wanted to find the culprit. He went from class to class and accused us all. I still don't know if he found the culprit or not. But I still don't think that's normal behavior for a headmaster. Or is it? Edit. Gosh. After reading the other comments here, I realized that my school was really boring and I had a really sheltered school life, aside from the bullying. I am glad this is the only scandal that I know of. Phew. Can't speak to other areas. But wearing a suit with cowboy boots and cowboy hat is perfectly acceptable in Texas. Perfectly acceptable in Alberta, Canada too. The school would play Justin Bieber's "Baby" on the speakers all throughout lunch break as well as in between classes, and they said they wouldn't stop until they raised $20. By the end of the year, they made a whopping total of $3.72. That's the saddest, stupidest shit I have ever heard a school do. Sad cringe. A kid shit his pants during a fight. He says he was on his way to the bathroom. Had to shit real bad. Saw the guy he was feuding with and thought, oh damn. Guy wailed him in the stomach. Chaos of fight ensued. Turd rolls out his pant leg. Teacher breaking up fight slips in said turd gets shit all over his jacket. Guy is obviously teased mercilessly. 2/3 RDS of the cheerleaders got pregnant after the captain, valedictorian, did. Dads were 2/3 RDS of the football team. School rules were ignored so the team could take state. Quote. Imagine one lone not pregnant cheerleader at the big game cheering while the big-bellied one sat on the sidelines. A decade after I left my high school, 3 varsity basketball players anally raped a JV player with a pool cue the night before a big away game. Though the rape was so severe the survivor had to have emergency surgery. The attackers were allowed to play the next day. Holy shit. Please tell me the guys were eventually prosecuted. They were. However, in my state, minors who have committed serious violent crimes are typically charged as adults, particularly when they are close to 18. These were not. So while news from leaks, juvenile proceedings being closed, indicated they were adjudicated guilty for aggravated rape and aggravated assault, they will not face as serious a punishment as their actions merited. Teacher would charge students for the ability to skip class and not get in trouble, reported. Obviously cash was the main currency. The reason he got caught. He let a kid buy him a Dairy Queen Blizzard for payment and the kid got the flavor wrong. Teacher reported the kid. The kid, in turn, ratted him out. A whole operation taken down over the difference between Butterfinger and Reese's. Greater than obviously cash was the main currency. I was really worried about what sorts of alternate payment was being accepted. Dairy Queen was a refreshing answer. I don't know if it's a scandal, but some students got sent away in an ambulance for snorting chlorine in a science class. That's just natural selection at that point. In science class, no less. There was a boy at my school who would shit on the floor in a random bathroom every single day before school ended.
This made it onto the morning announcements often, and the whole school of roughly 1,500 people was
trying to figure out who it was. This went on for months, however. He ended up getting caught by a teacher and decided to pretend to be mentally challenged. Needless to say, he was suspended. The return of the pooping bandit. The mad pooper.
Must be the butler.
The poopatrator. Someone grew weed in the agriculture plot.
Genius.
Making money at school. My primary school teacher, we were about 7. I think he used to like girls with blue eyes and blonde hair. He would often stroke their hair and just be too close. Asked for hugs too. He was fired years later. It was never said why. I think he was a total pedo. There was this kid in my secondary school who stole a knife from the workshop and pulled it on one of my friends in class. He was kind of half jokingly, half seriously threatening him with it. He got in a lot of trouble over it but somehow wasn't even suspended. Later on in the year he was caught selling weed on school property. The police were involved and he was suspended after that. Next thing I heard, he rocked up at the house of a girl I knew and proposed to her.
She said no.
Obviously. Because they were only about 15 at the time. I was never friends with this guy, spoke to him maybe once or twice, but I heard through friends of friends that he ended up in rehab. It's kind of sad because despite all of the weird shit he did, he never seemed like a genuinely bad person like some of the people at my school. I suppose it wasn't really a scandal for the school as such. But word did spread pretty fast and the faculty attempted to brush it under the carpet. A girl found a hidden camera in one of the stalls in the girls' bathroom. The authorities were notified and they came and searched all the bathrooms. But luckily no other cameras were found. We never knew for sure who did it. But a couple months later, a popular teacher who got along well with all the students was fired. And the school admin didn't want to tell us why he got fired. All they said was he was being investigated. Yikes.
Some girl at my school
Stole like 5 to 7 chickens from the town of Fair Oaks and released them at 8 a.m. at the chickens raided the cafeteria. I think it was also on the news too. Now that's just comedy. There's a guy fucking his girlfriend's friend on a bathroom and failed to realize that they're being taped. The video spread like wildfire and they both got expelled. He can't even imagine what's his girlfriend's feeling when she heard the news or watched the video. And the second one. Also a video, but it's another girl getting gangbanged voluntarily by her classmates and her boyfriend.
She's even getting that sweet DP.
The
video is so popular that even one of the teacher got fired
for having a copy of that video. Me school was wild. Sweet DP, what XD? Double penetration. 2 sausages. 1 hallway. We had 2 separate devastating fires in our very old high school building. The first one was caused by someone lighting a trash can fire in the ceramics room to make it look like the teacher was incompetent and messed up using the kiln. The second one burned down the entire gym because a kid was smoking and threw his lit cigarette on a pile of gymnastics mats. Kids are shitty. Random, but the first one is literally a Bob's Burgers episode, lol. The English teacher was a pedophile. He uploaded a video by accident on Facebook. I didn't see it though because it got deleted quick. But a lot of people were talking about it and the teacher obviously got fired. Sounds like an episode of Black Mirror. A guy was promised $100 to piss himself in class. He did it. They refused to pay up.